So I went to Bali for 4 weeks last year. I carried on the bulk that I was on from Spain. So this is shortly after. So at this point, I'm probably carrying the most amount of fat I've carried since I was overweight. But there was a purpose behind it. And even though I was working on my relationship with my body is improving, naturally anyone that's done a bulk and you know you're getting too fat, there's not really much you can do to avoid feeling a bit uncomfortable, feeling a bit maybe self-conscious, because your clothes start getting a bit tighter and stuff like that. And you don't have to do a bulk. Like, no one's forcing you to do a bulk. My goal was to get stronger, and I needed to eat more calories to do that. I was all my lifts were sort of stalling, so I've started bulking and cutting and yada yada yada. Anyway, I went to Bali. I went to the CrossFit gym in Bali called Wanderlust. You've probably seen people at this. It's quite famous. Pretty sure there's been a lot of CrossFit events at it. One of the famous guys within CrossFit owns it. He was really nice, by the way. I can't remember what his name is. I think he had some beef with James Smith at one point, but I met him. He probably won't even remember me. And what I'm about to say might be a bit discriminatory. That's too big a word, Gavin. This might sound as if I'm slagging off that gym. The gym setup was class. Classes were really cool. The food was unbelievable. That guy himself was sound. I'm not really too sure how I feel about the community of CrossFit in Bali. I've met other CrossFitters and I've heard about them talking about the communities. I just don't know if CrossFit and Bali influencers is just something that creates this weird dynamic of like cliquey people. I found the groups in it very cliquey. So this was nothing to do, and it might just have been that specific time I was there, right? You don't need to defend yourself so much, right? I thought the people there were quite cliquey. None of the owners were well sound. The staff were well sound. I meant the actual CrossFitters. Anyway, all of these people, it was sort of like what I thought bodybuilding people would be like in Bali. Like, it was very much a lot of filming yourself, a lot of tops off. You had to have your top off, to be fair, or like it was absolutely sweltering. But anyway, long story short, because I'm making this very long, I was definitely like the bottom 10% of people in shape, but people were ripped, massive as well. People were in ridiculous nick. It was actually the opposite of the Alicante thing. It was like, right, this is pretty much like going on Instagram in real life. But bear in mind, you're in Bali with influencers in a CrossFit gym. This is not. If I went to the beach in Bali, it would have been a different story again. But I remember going, I don't really want to take my top off in here. I feel like I'm not in good enough shape. And then I was sweating my tits off the first time I was working out. I was like, do you know what? Fuck this. It's coming off. The tits are coming out. And I was but 4 kilos heavier than what I am just now, I think. And I'm stronger than what I was then. So it's definitely a bit wobbly, you know? And I was like, fuck this. It's coming off. And I remember it wasn't bothering me that much. Like, if you'd have made me do this when I was like 18, I'd have just had a panic attack, cracked 3 people on the way out, and I'd have been gone. I'd been on my moped. I'd have been off. However, at this point, I've improved my relationship with my body a lot. And I'm at the point where I can hear the way people speak and go, do you know what, I'd rather be in my own head than be in theirs, even if they're in better shape than me. But met a few people on those first days, or two or 3 days, and I genuinely did, right, so this is something important for everyone that thinks they get judged in the gym or whatever. I did have 1 or 2 people that were like, oh, I'm a coach as well. And one of them was definitely steroided. again, this is so rife in this industry, but definitely on the juice. But he looked me up and down, and I could tell, because I was like, oh, I'm a PT. When he looked me up and down, I was like, he's definitely judging me, thinking I'm not in good enough shape to be a PT. And I was definitely on taking the bulk too far. But then was speaking to him for a while, and he was nice on the surface. Like, he didn't actually say anything to me. I just seen the look, and I was like, he's too heavy to be a PT. I seen that look coming from him, and I was like, yeah, that he definitely judged me there. Maybe made me feel a wee bit shit, right? But then I trained in that gym for like 3 weeks. I didn't make that many friends. Aaron was there as well. Aaron got into the classes and all that. I know who my people are. And I just went there and I was like, man, these aren't my people. And I'm so fine with that, by the way, because we met other people in like pubs and stuff in Bali. And I was like, these are my people. Like Brad, who's been on the podcast, who's on Love Island. It's like, Brad's my guy. You know, he likes a dick joke. I don't even know if we made dick jokes, but you know what I mean? He's my type of guy. That makes me sound like I fancy him. But anyway, we met some other people that were kind of maybe drifting in and out. Some other people that were coaches, and like loads of people never like looked at me at all, and they'd be like, "Oh, what do you do?" And I'm a coach. And I'm a coach too. And we'd have half an hour conversation about coaching, and they would just be so sound. Have dinner with them and stuff. And then I was thinking about it to myself. I was like, when I would come home, I'd be like, right, see the one or two people that I did maybe see them look at how I look and stuff. I didn't want to have dinner with them, and I didn't want to spend any time with them because they just didn't seem very sound. They just didn't seem up for a laugh. Do you know what I mean? And I'm very much just a guy that's up for a laugh and everything. That's me. I like to take the piss out of anything and everything. So I like to spend time with people that are the same. And I was just like, right, so if they're the people that did judge me, and I don't really like them anyway, not even because they were maybe, and I don't even know if they judged me, just I felt like they judged me. I'd be like, why would I give a fuck what they think I should look like? Why would I change any of my decisions based off someone I wouldn't have dinner with? Why? But people do that because they're looking for validation off others and looking off validation for people that they don't even like. Like I wouldn't even have dinner with these people. I wouldn't even last 5 minutes of a conversation without making an excuse like I need to go for a piss. You know? So why would I care? And the reason I've took you from start to finish is because people go, that's great for you, that you're able to think like that. You and your thoughts are two different things. You are not your thoughts. You can work on these. Your brain is malleable. You can change your thoughts. Otherwise, my job wouldn't exist. Therapist's job wouldn't exist. You can change. You just need to actually accept that you're going on the journey, and one of the main things that you need to do is accept your goals are daft. I ask my clients, what are your 3 main goals for the first 12 weeks of coaching? And I can't remember the last time. A few people were right, I just want to learn how to lift, and I'm like, good one, that's good. 90% of them, I'm like, these are not your goals. From me to you, these are not your goals. These are just going to make you do the same thing you done before you came on as a client.